I know supposedly you can see that stuff in advance. It's hard to tell exactly when YouTube says okay. Alright, I am live over on YouTube. Rumble will be delayed behind because Rumble is pokey. Come on, Rumble, let's go. I'm trying to get Rumble to come up. It's always got to do its little opener thing. It puts a little behind. So let me catch it up here. Sorry, guys, I am a one-man band here. So I am trying to get it to skip past that. There we go. All right. All right. Well, been a few days since I streamed. Wife and I were out of town for a Chesapeake Bay Retriever Fun Day thing. My wife wanted to participate our Chesapeake Bay Retriever in. Very, very unique breed. He's our second of the breed. So we were up there, and it was a great time. But wanted to come back, and yeah, I'm going to do a politics stream tonight. But I also do, if you read my channel synopsis, I do pop culture. And if you look in the background, yeah, I may not be Gary Beekler, neurotic or anything like that. Or the guys from Geeks and Gamers, but I have been doing this a long time. There's a lot you cannot see along this wall, over here. So, yeah, my man cave is this stuff. For those of you who know, I have a Cadillacs and Dinosaurs poster right next to me, so welcome. All my G.I. Joe stuff that you can't see because I'm sitting. But how's it going? Today we are going to chat a little bit about Last of Us 2, but I'm not going to go too deep into that. I've only seen a little bit of it. I, for the most part, liked the first season. I am not a big gamer anymore. I was what you would call an 80s, 90s, early 2000s gamer, but I've been out of the gaming playing realm for a while, but I still read. I do still watch gamers play. I try to keep up on some stuff. But, I did know about the controversies and the stuff, the good and the bad about Last of Us game. The first game that people loved, and then the second one, oh boy. Oh, Drucker just had to mess that up with the standard arrogance that we get in our normal TV and movies and stuff. Well, this works, people love it, so I'm going to subvert their expectations, and I want to make it my own. Stop doing this crap. You know what? If you want to make something your own, create something your own. So we are going to talk a little bit about that. And if you notice the Ghostbusters 2016 image on my thumbnail, it's there for a reason. It is because these idiots cannot let go of the fake crap saying about review bombing. We're going to talk about that. And then we are going to dig a little bit into Foundation. It is a series I do not hear very many YouTube, Rumble people, anybody really talking about. I do like the series. We'll get into that. But I do have my reservations with it. And I, in high school, read the original series, all the Foundation series, loved it. They were lost in a house fire, but I'm looking to buy the series again off Amazon and reread it. And we will maybe talk a little bit about Babylon 5 at the end, which to me is probably one of the best sci-fi series in history, right up there with Firefly. So, welcome everybody. We will be doing a little bit of all that. I am checking over at Rumble, making sure Rumble's still going good. Hello to everybody on Rumble. I am trying to say, I see my Rumble is going a little goofy. It's funny because Rumble has been doing so good lately. I guess during the day they just want to get goofy. So I apologize everybody on Rumbles. I got all my settings exactly the way Rumble wants. I test my speed. I'm good. My YouTube is not glitching at all. Just my Rumble has a problem. Don't understand. But this is the first time I've seen real problems for a while. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the day thing. So everybody on Rumble, I apologize. Pop in. Give me a thumbs up if it's okay. Give me if it's not. Let me see here. Making sure I don't have the echo. Okay. Because my software has been weird lately. If I click my toggle one way, it's supposed to eliminate that echo. But sometimes it doesn't. It works two ways, so I have to double check. But yes, let's move here. Let's go in and get on this. All right, let's pull this up. Oop, that's the wrong button. You would think that I've been doing this for too long. Okay, poof. And let's get me a little smaller. Nobody wants to look at me and my Star Trek posters and stuff in the background. All right, so I can always wiggle me off the screen too if need be. Actually, I think I'll just do that. Go like that. Whoa, then I can... boing. Ooh, that was too much, wasn't it? There we go. I'll move it out of the way later, guys. Okay. Last of Us Season 2 review bombing. 2's review bombing isn't limited to Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, this is from Collider, and... we can go into so much of the problems of Last of Us, even the Series 1, the casting, the young lady here, I can't remember her name right off, picking her as the protagonist doesn't match the game. But also, I find her, I know a lot of people are trying to be nice. Some of the reviewers don't want to attack actors. I'm not going to attack her, but I'm going to say she is not right for the job, and I do not personally find her a very good actress. I find that she can really do the girl boss anger thing really well, but any other emotion seems to be very out of her realm, at least in this series. So that's my problem. But of course, we had to, go to The Last of Us Season 2 get the second game and go to the ending Joel and all that stuff. But the whole show, the first one was good. Okay, I liked it. I really did. I'm what you would call a normie light. I know about the games. I've watched gameplay. I've read a lot of stuff about the first game. So the first season I watched, and yeah, there was an episode in there. We all know the episode where they wandered off, had to get the agenda in there, or as a critical drinker would say, make it for modern audiences, and I don't have an echo button. So they did that. Which, it wasn't a horrible episode, it just really didn't set in really well with everything else going on. Seemed kind of it was definitely an insert that didn't need to be there. But other than that, it was actually pretty good. But everybody's been worried about what was coming in Season 2. Anybody who knew anything about the games was, oh no, here we go. Are they going to do it? Are they going to end Joel like as bad as it was in the game? Yep. Funny how they don't want to stick with a lot of canon and a lot of things, except the crap. Well, they did do that. But let's go read here. And I am picking this not just because of a review or discussion of Last of Us 2, but because it goes along with the rest of my title about review bombing. Because this is a trope that's been going on. And yes, I am blaming Ghostbusters 2016. It was a shit movie. But, oh God, it was review bombed. That's what ruined it. No, it was a shit movie. You took a beloved franchise of people from the age of 4 to the age of 84, and then you said, hey, we're going to reboot this all girl style and do it funky, dumb, and bad. We got side 6-shooter, plasma gun, it was just bad. 6-shooter proton pack. She's pulling out, pew, pew, pew. And it was demeaning. They never demeaned Janine in the original Ghostbusters. In fact, she ended up being kind of a badass. But boy, they sure made fun of the male Janine. And really, really were. If the original Ghostbusters had treated Janine that way, even in the 80s, it'd have been like, wow, that's pretty nasty. But, okay. It's about time to revoke some people's internet privileges. Anybody who targets minorities and women online need to check themselves anyway. Why? What if we're not targeting you because you're a minority or a woman, because your character sucks or your acting sucks? Screw you. You purport. This is borderline politics. Why I have politics and pop culture channel, because they are interlinked. If you want equality, then you are going to get the bad with your equality. This goes along with feminism. Women want the good of being girls. They want that bonus points, the extra privileges, but they don't want the bad. No, they do not want that. So, same way here. So, Collider, right off, you start off being assholes. It has nothing to do with the gender, unless you're gender swapping characters. It has nothing to do with your minority status, unless we've race swapped a character. But honestly, if your character is good, people will watch it. If your character is bad, people are going to piss on it, and too bad. That's what they do. They come out and just automatically, they will gender swap or race swap somebody, and before the show even comes out going, there's going to be racist trolls. Well, why don't we wait to see the show? They set it up because a lot of times they know these shows are going to fail. As soon as you hear, before a show even or movie even comes out, it's got race, gender things coming from the studio and the actors who made it, you know it's shit. If it's not shit, you never hear about it. They let you decide. And a lot of times, those are the ones that do good. So it's a cover anymore for, we made crap and we know it. Despite the efforts of certain platforms to prevent review bombing, as in, you can only make reviews we like. Which is neato. Trolls, honest people, you gotta translate, still seem to be getting away with it. Yeah, how dare we not just fawn and love over every damn thing you make? What a bunch of arrogant assholes. And that is exactly what it is. So, yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm not one of those 8 million other channels who just read it to you verbatim. I will stop a lot and, 1, translate, and 2, just call out the bullshit. So, yeah. Seem to get away with it. The latest victim is HBO's The Last of Us. Once again, anybody that knows about the game controversy saw this coming, and HBO knew about the game controversy and decided to shit on good stuff in the games and not put those in the show and mess with stuff. Yet they chose openly to follow the controversial, horrible ideas from the second game, which is why it bombed. So HBO had an option to actually do better, and they chose not to. The Last of Us, which like the video game it is based on, has been targeted, okay, they had good reasons, by individuals who seem to have a problem with women being spotlighted. No. Had a problem with you decimating a great character, a popular character, all in the name of identity politics. Joel, the hero, gets beat down and ended by a little girl, and then so the other little girl can run off and have her lesbian relationship. That is the problem with most of the shows today. They keep doing that trope. Sorry, I have to keep my notifications on my phone. I have an elderly father, so, who lives out alone by himself still in the woods. So, So, yeah, they made this. It's all for identity politics. It wasn't due to make it better. It wasn't because they said, hey, the fans are going to love this. The people who we make money off of. Where our money comes from, the fans who buy in the games, watching the shows. Now, we're going to do what they don't want. And then be mad that they don't like it. Yeah, arrogance. All for modern audiences. Yeah, I'll do that echo. I'll have to set up a button for that. Let's see, like video game, been targeted by individuals that had a problem with women being spotlighted. No. Ripley is still one of my biggest all-time movie character. Oh, I just love her character. What an arc, too, by the way, and what a badass when she wanted to be. Still, it's probably my favorite female-oriented action movie of all time. And I know lefties go, or people, I don't want to say lefties, but it usually is. Once again, politics and pop culture are one. Lefties will have oh yeah, of course you'd say Alien and Aliens and Ripley. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Hell, even the the old Tomb Raider movies were pretty damn good. I liked those. There's a lot of stuff. Storm from the X-Men. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So no, it has nothing to do with gender. Princess Leia is still one of the most popular female action characters of all time. Make a good character, nobody gives a rat's ass. Just they can't do woman characters right. They try to make them into men. The second season of the show was premiered less than a month ago. Immediately started attracting negativity from a section of the audience because, my God, they hoped you would just take a look at the stupidity done in the second game and ignore that. But, oh no. This was reflected in his fast declining audience score on Rotten Tomatoes because nobody liked it. The trolls can't be contained to just one platform. They've also messed with the show's rating on Metacritic. Okay. If you start seeing bad reviews across all platforms, and there's a shitload of platforms now. There's a shitload of YouTube channels, Rumble channels, places on X, places on Instagram, Facebook to talk about this. If everybody across that whole spectrum is not liking the show, your ratings are going down, then it is a you problem. It's not a fan problem, a review bomb problem. It is a you problem. You made a shit show. You made bad decisions. Bad decisions with your actors, your story, other things like that. You can't just... this arrogance of Hollywood where they expect everybody should be fawning over everything we do. Everything we do should slob that knob, and you should only be giving our egos a boost. You must love everything we put out, even if it's slop. Every remake, every reboot, every DEI choice, every race swap, gender swap, every reboot, prequel, always. You must love everything we put out, even if it's bad. And that is what Hollywood got used to for a long time because they were able to control the narrative. Now that it's out there, it's too big on the internet to control. So they're trying. They are trying. And Rotten Tomatoes is one of the biggest purveyors of lies, how they cover up. It really started out with Captain Marvel. Yeah, which we'll get into if I ever get there. But trolls can't be contained on this platform. I was with Metacritic and many others, by the way. The Last of Us Season 2 holds a must-watch of 81 to 100 on the aggregator platform. But its user rating is languishing at 4.4, which is the same shit we always see where the reviewers love it. But the audience goes, it sucks. It sucks. Even Doctor Who right now, which is abysmal on ratings, has it, yes, the reviewer rating has come down, but it's still much different than the audience score. And it is really, clearly, openly, easily labeled as horrendous right now. So, we have a problem with a gap between the reviewers and the citizens. The people watching. One glance at the user reviews reveals that most detractors seem to be repeating the issues they had with the video game. Well, then maybe they shouldn't have followed that. HBO had an option. They knew that wasn't popular. They knew that second video game pissed off fans horrendously, and the game really failed. But no, HBO, let's go! The video game, the negativity is being targeted as stars Bella Ramsey. One, partially because she's not a good actress. I'm sorry. I know someone will, she's okay. Then others will still try to give her glowing by saying the show's crap. No, she's not okay. She's not a very good actress. Everything I see her in, she can do the anger, arrogant girl boss, but she really, I'm not pretty, but her facial structure seems to be just built automatically. She has resting, bitch face. She kind of has a resting bitch face. She can't, a smile on her face seems very unnatural. So, I'm sorry, she can put out those two, she can do those two facial expressions, but that's about it. And her acting skills, I'm sorry, I don't find it very good. I never have. And she really doesn't match anything to do with the game. Caitlin Dever, still not a very good one. Pedro Pascal, stop putting him in everything. He is not Joel. Once again, I'm not even a gamer, but watching guys play and reading all the articles, that is not a gamer. He's also not Reed Richards, by the way. Stop putting him in everything. His character Joel, spoiler alert, was ended in the second episode. Badly. He went out like, excuse my terminology here, he went out like a bitch. Yeah. Really, he did. Let a little girl pretty much beat him to his end. Was killed in the second season, or ended in the second season, seems to be doing just fine. YouTube. Gotta watch YouTube. After the release of the video game, it was actor Ashley Johnson who was singled out by the trolls. Are you noticing a trend? Maybe they just suck. You ever notice when somebody's latching onto a standard white character or white actor doing something bad? There's never any of these stories. They never notice when people go, well, this is shit. This is shit right here. And, oh, if it's a white guy, you'll never hear a thing. You'll never see one of these articles. Any film or show with even mildly progressive politics seems to irritate the sort of people who are likely to spend time venting about these things online. Mildly progressive? Mildly. You've got little Bella Ramsey in here kung fuing a guy. Once again, mildly? Let's stop this stupidity where a 100-pound girl beats the crap out of a 250-pound dude. I can suspend my disbelief. But unless this is the X-Men and she has superpowers in this film, no. A little different when you're watching an X-Men movie and, Rogue can throw a car across the screen. But yeah, it's just stupid. Now, here's where I went into the review bombing issue. Review bombing isn't an unusual phenomenon. You're making shit stuff for us. Especially these divided times. Famously, the all-female Ghostbusters reboot. It wasn't all-female. The original Ghostbusters wasn't all-male. Nobody said that. Why? Janine. Sigourney Weaver. Both characters were in there, Dana Barrett, Janine, I forgot, Melnitz. So it wasn't. And I don't remember anybody back there saying, all-male Ghostbusters. I remember years later, anybody going, all-male Ghostbusters. Why? Because of those two characters. Well, I hate to say this, but in this Ghostbusters reboot, there are male characters. There's the male Janine. There's the male bad guy. Where is that? So, all female. You called it that. Screw you. You set it up that way. Sorry, let me check. Okay. So yeah, that's just stupid. You can tell what they're trying to do right there when they steer it that way. You are going to openly forget your male characters. To me, Janine and even Dana Barrett were two of the big characters in the original Ghostbusters movie. And Dana Barrett was definitely bigger in the second one, as was Janine. So I don't think I ever thought of it as the all-male Ghostbusters. The all-female Ghostbusters reboot was targeted so viciously by the self-appointed gatekeepers of the franchise. You mean fans. Fans who gave their money to go see it, loved it, bought all the toys, the videos, other memorabilia, figures, you name it. Went to dress up in cosplay at conventions. Yeah, now those people, the gatekeepers. Where your fucking money comes from. The arrogance of anybody that doesn't like what they put out is a gatekeeper. Well, you know what? Maybe gatekeeping is good. Because the gatekeepers are the ones that have kept franchises going. Do you think Ghostbusters 1983, as good as it was, would still be as popular as it is today without fans, your gatekeepers, buying stuff, watching stuff, talking about it on forums? Come on. Walking about it at conventions, wearing outfits. I have a Ghostbusters Venkman t-shirt. So yeah. I have the Ghostbusters animated series and the movies behind me back there. So, gatekeepers. Watch that word. All that means is fans that don't kiss their ass. Of the franchise, that his box office performance was affected. It was a bad movie. I did not see it in a theater, but I saw it when I was in the hospital dealing with my lung problem. It was on their hospital free movie channel. It was tough to get through. It was reoccurring, but it took me 4 different viewings to get through that thing. It was bad. The jokes were bad. The acting was bad. The graphics were not very good in it. The story was crap. It was a bad movie. So, too bad. And the fact that they tried to shoehorn it as the all-female Ghostbusters, it shows what they were trying to do. In 2019, Rotten Tomatoes was forced to take measures to prevent review bombing when certain folks targeted Brie Larson for making political statements. Have they raised Captain Marvel? Dude, as our little Snow Brown found out recently, you're going to make a movie that may already be slightly controversial, doesn't follow canon, doesn't follow storylines, you're trying to do a bad reboot or whatever, don't go out and automatically take a huge steaming dinosaur-sized dump on at least half the fans that might come see it. As in the Snow Brown or Snow Mocha movie just out, where Rachel Zegler come out and really just could not keep her mouth shut. Brie Larson was doing the same thing back then, just absolutely taking a dump on fandom, on the movies, on anybody that didn't like what she said. Shut up. Just, hey, dance, monkey, dance. We pay you to entertain us, not tell us how much we're assholes. Or how dare you voted this way. You are a paid celebrity who makes way too much money for what you do, while the rest of us are out here working in the world. You dance. You make us a cool thing to watch and get our minds off our hard jobs. Then you can have your millions, but shut up. You don't even live in the real world. The sheer arrogance of telling us how horrid we are if we don't like your shite. Just stupid. But how about this? I remember for a long, long time, and I'm not that old. I really am not, I swear. I don't remember a lot of celebrities making a movie or a franchise coming out and throwing their politics out there. Not only throwing their politics out there, but absolutely attacking people for their political beliefs. That's been a semi-new phenomenon. And it's stupid. They want to berate you, call you names, then they get mad at you if you don't go watch their movie, their TV show, whatever. Hell, even De Niro's last couple things have failed. Some say it's because they're crap. Others say it's a mixture of because it's crap and him going out and being a total moron. So, yeah. But, yeah, then more recently stars The Little Mermaid and Snow White remakes unfairly. By the way, The Little Mermaid girl, she didn't say much. People didn't like the race swap. It was a clear race swap. It was a race swap for modern audiences again. It was stupid. It was dumb. But she did not come out and shit on people. And I did not see anybody really attacking her. Every once in a while, there's a comment and, that's not the Little Mermaid, whatever. Explain to me brown people under the ocean where there's no light, stuff like that. It was written in Europe way back. It was white people for a reason. It's off really, really old stories. So yeah, it was dumb, but I don't remember anybody really going off on her. The movie, oh yeah, they're like, stupid, dumb. Now Snow White, oof. You can't compare The Little Mermaid and Snow White because man, oh man, Rachel Zegler just has made herself out to be the epitome of the spoiled, elitist, lefty Hollywood moron. She could not shut her mouth. And 90% of the stuff flowing out was horrendous. I'm not saying Gal Gadot is amazing with some of the stuff she did say, but man, Zegler just... I think actually there's a few things that Gal Gadot said would have been pretty big story, and there were people going, the fuck, lady? Except Zegler just really outdid her by 1,000 times. Gal Gadot should count herself as lucky. Unfairly targeted by trolls who clench their fists against perceived progressive politics. What do you mean perceived? You take a traditional white characters. Hell, Snow White. She was named Snow White because her skin was white as snow. Really white. Watch the old show, the old cartoon. She was white. Read the old books if any old ones are animated. She's white. Yeah, not perceived. You changed white characters that were white for a reason, by the way, to brown. To me, it's like, that'd be like changing Blade to, let's say, boy, what you need an actor's name. How about Gerard Butler? Changing Blade to Gerard Butler. Blade is a traditional black vampire comic book character. Black in the movies. If they changed him, I'd be just as pissed. So it wasn't perceived progressive politics. It was open and clear. Changed the whole story of Snow White, Disney's tentpole, just to inject their progressive politics and put Snow Brown out there. So yeah. All right. So I didn't want to dig too deep, but this is just why I see the review bombing thing as shit. It's not perceived progressive politics. It was openly stated progressive politics. Openly shown. So yeah, Fury's at Joel's death. Well, yeah, they are, because they were pissed in the show. People actually thought that HBO would see the holy crap craziness that the game caused, the second game caused, and would maybe try to do better. They didn't. The hopes were dashed. A lot of people knew, nope. But I'm not going to go into much more of this. Neil Druckmann. Yeah, dumbass. That's why they didn't change it, though. Neil Druckmann involved. But yeah. Alright, guys. Now, if I get the time to split this is where I'll be splitting this and asking you to please like, subscribe, and join. I do a lot of politics, but I also do some pop culture. And all my links are in the description of the video. And thank you for joining me. But then, for the rest of us, we will move on. I am happy about this. I mean, okay. Anybody that's ever read Isaac Asimov Foundation series, it is an epic series. Spans, well, I believe millennia. It's really cool. It's been a long time since I read it, but I loved it. And I am going to buy the whole set again and go over it again, because, man. But memory. Like, I don't like how they changed, like, Salvor Hardin. They did, not just race swap, but gender swap Salvor Hardin. They've done a few other changes, but where I see the series as good, it is following the story decently well, as good as a lot of TV shows can handle these days. There is rare even Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, people still had problems with that because it didn't follow the books as well as it could have or should have in their minds. To get everything from each book into those movies, to do it right, well, the way the people in the books would, once again, a lot of things in books do not translate over. You will not get a lot of things written to translate over to TV and vice versa. But also, the extended versions aren't near long enough to get each of those movies to be really, really more faithful to the books and get every character and everything in. You'd have to have a 5-6 hour movie each. And there's not a lot of love for that in the movie making industry or the movie watching industry. But Foundation has kind of got some of the same problems, but they do have some race and gender swap with the main character, Salvor Hardin. So there is a problem there. But what I do find good is they got this arcing story decently well. Another one, Apple's got a problem. They make shows that really don't get a lot of attention. They don't, that service, Apple's got a lot of money, so they can do this. But the service isn't really, I don't see it growing much or getting bigger very much. But they have a few good shows. I'll tell you, when they put their money into a show, For All Mankind is one that I think is just an amazing show. It really is. It's got a great decades arcing story about a kind of a disparate Earth where the Russians were actually got to the moon first and everything else, and the space race totally changed. America playing catch up, the world doing space race going on from back to the moon, onto Mars. It's really good. And it looks beautiful. It really does. I'll tell you what, if a lot of cinema and TV today spent the time and the effort to make their shows and movies look as good as Apple Plus is, wow. We would have a lot better, we'd have a lot less people pissed about some of the bad VFX and everything in movies and TV these days. Because a lot of them are just, the effects are horrible. They really are. Compared to what they were, there's nothing today that should be worse than something 20, 25 years ago with the technological advances. I mean, good grief. I mean, Ghostbusters 2016 is a good one. Ghostbusters until 1983 looked epic, still looks beautiful today. Especially in the 4K when they went through and cleaned it up. Looks gorgeous. Blu-ray, 4K, everything. Oh, beautiful. The new one didn't look near as good. It looks cheesy. And a lot of them are getting that way. But Foundation can make things look gorgeous. I mean, not Apple Plus, sorry. They can make things gorgeous. And that is also where their strength is on Foundation. Yeah, I know you go, oh, but you're going to forgive some of the race and gender swap? No, it pisses me off. There's little bits of the story they are missing. But they get the look. And the look isn't my only thing. But the look of it is beautiful. I mean, my God, the graphics and everything are just amazing. Now, the other one I think they get right is the Empire in a way. You know, right here, Empire. The Empire, and they get the Emperor really well. Once again, it's been a while since I've read it, so feel free to lambast me, but I think they really get that. The Great Galactic Empire, you know, the Emperor for life, you know, what, morning, sun and day, oh, good grief. I have brain farted, but, you know, they got the young, the middle, and then the old, the emperors. But, yeah, I think they does a good job. It haven't got a lot of love because it's on Apple Plus. Hell, I find a lot of people I have never heard of For All Mankind, and it is a great series. That said, Apple Plus has a lot of very goofy, far left, hard to watch series too. I mean, far left, like Scar Your Tesla left. So yeah, but it is a beautiful show. And I do like how they got some of it. It is well worth your watch. If you know the books really well, you're gonna find some problems. But you're also going to find where they really nailed some stuff dead on. It is definitely worth watching. As an adaptation of a book series, I would give it a 6.5 maybe on how they adapted off the books. But what they got great, and it's still, in its own right, a good show to watch. But I am happy because a Foundation Season 4 update reveals that a Fear the Walking Dead writer has replaced the departed showrunner. Oh boy. Based on books by Isaac Asimov, TV sci-fi series that follows a century-spanning saga of the eponymous organization established by psychohistorian Harry Seldon to preserve civilization at the fall of the Galactic Empire. Foundation's cast includes Jared Harris, Lee Pace, who I think is doing an amazing job. You want to talk about hitting the, Brother Day? But I think he is epic. Lou Lobel, she's playing the Salvor Hardin character. Not right. It's a race and gender swap, but she does a decent job. I'm not going to say good job, because if you read the books, you're going to go, There's some teeth gritting you're going to have to do, especially since they do inject, it is Apple Plus, they do inject some modern audiences stuff in there. Leah Harvey, Laura Byrne, Cassian Milton, Terrence Mann. Oh, yeah, they name them all, whatever. Now with Season 3, now this is what made me happy. Now with Season 3 completed after strike and budget-related delays that resulted in showrunner David S. Goyer exiting the show, Foundation has tapped Fear the Walking Dead. Ian Goldberg as the new showrunner for Season 4. Now that worries me. I don't know. We'll see. Because I liked Season 1, I liked Season 2. I'm hoping for Season 3. It's supposed to come out sometime in 2025. The post-production is done, but you got the VFX, which is, like I said, it is a beautiful series. From the insides of the buildings and the halls and the space stations, the ships, the planets. It is gorgeous. The characters are done well. The different, the spacers, you know, the running the... Boy, don't you love it. Running the, like, warp ships. I mean, it's crazy cool. But they got to do a lot. And being Apple Plus, they will not skimp. It won't come out just looking horrendous. They will stick with their quality. So Season 3 is coming out in 2025. They're just got to get all the VFX in and the editing done and get that out. And that'll be good. But Season 4 does worry me. The report reveals that while Season 3 is yet to be scheduled, is likely to release this year, and Season 4 writer's room is already up and running. Goldberg will also act as an executive producer under his overall deal with Skydance TV. Okay. I do worry. I do. I'm not going to go through much more of this because this is mostly about 4. Season 3, they talk about, the writer's strike and stuff. It's just a beautiful show. I mean, let me see. Did I keep... Where'd my X go? Oh, no, I closed my X. Hang on. One-man band. Let's see here. I think I did it. I think I bookmarked some. Oh, yeah, just some of it is so beautiful. I mean, this is the old trailer. But just look how beautiful it is. I mean, I'll keep the sound off because I don't want to get nailed. But just look at the beauty on this. I'll puff it up for you, but I'm going to keep the sound off. I'm not going to give away some of the characters if some people haven't seen it. I do recommend watch it. But, man, Lee Pace does epic in this. That is the Salvor right there. She is the Salvor Hardin of this series. The Salvor Hardin in the book series is a white male, and it does change the story. So when people get pissed off, you're just mad because it's a girl and brown girl. Kinda. Because it changes the story. And I know people like Starbuck in the new Battlestar Galactica reboot. I did. I like that show too. But the Starbuck gender swap changed the dynamic between Starbuck and Apollo. It changed the dynamic between Starbuck and everybody else. It did change the story. Just thankfully, the rest of the show was so good it could overcome it. You will find times that, her acting is not the best. The way she was written is the bigger problem than her acting. The way she's written and told to act it is not Salvor Hardin. There's way too much whine, cry, little weak problems that shouldn't be there for that character. Yes, Salvor had some problems in the books, but not like this. But all in all, she does a good enough job. It doesn't take you out of the story very often, but it will once in a while. So let's go on here. I just want to get I got some of the other graphics up. But look at this. This is so beautiful. And if you go watch this is just what I'm able to stream to you. But if you go watch this, it is probably one of the most gorgeous series out right now. They do not spare anything on their looks. And it does help keep you in the story. And I'm sorry, looks, graphics, the beauty of a show can help you overcome some crap. I mean, gosh, it is just well done for that beauty. All right. But yeah, I mean, it is. If Marvel and other movies and TV shows could get their graphics and their attention to detail back to this level, all their crappy stories and swaps would be a little more palatable. Like I said, I'm not saying this fixes the problems. I'm saying it makes it more palatable. Lee Pace, he is hands down. And Harry Seldon, I forgot his name. Right there. He is also freaking good. And the other one, don't get on me about gender. Let's see, do they have her? I'm not going to talk about this character, but I know they got her. Come on. Where is she? All right, where is it? Oh, she's here. Sorry. Right there. Her character. Right there. I'm not going to give away who she is. Some people haven't seen it. But her character is really well done. And there's a couple reveals early on where you go, wow, holy crap. So yeah, she does amazing. If the main actress playing Salvor Hardin here could act as good, it would really help. Like I said, I'm not blaming her totally because yes, some of what she was told to do and be has definitely hobbled her. But the show is so beautiful. I mean, just even on my crappy picture, what I can show you, look at that. It is just beautiful. All the little ships and battle going on. It's just, like I said, if you got a good TV, go look at the show. Hell, turn the sound off and look at some of the beauty in these places they do. And I know this isn't capturing it for you guys, but I just can't name enough how beautiful of a show it is. This is the ring built around the planet, the great galactic empire. But no, go check it out. It's a really good show. I give it, all told, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a 7. I know you're going, wow, that don't sound like a really good show. Hey, today, that's a really good show. Now, my drop down, I would give it a 6.5 to 7, because there are times, if you haven't read the books, I'm going to say you're going to see it as a 7 or 7.5 as a sci-fi fan. If you know the books, at my level, 6.5 to 7. If you know the books really well, you're going to think 5 or 6. But it's still probably worth watching and still one of the better sci-fi shows out now. Like I said, Lee Pace and the guy who plays Harry Seldon do amazing. The lady playing the Empire's right hand there, or as you call it, the hand. She does an epic job. And where the story will get on your nerves, where the Salvor Hardin character can get on your nerves, the graphics will at least pull you back a little. So check it out. I mean, I'm excited to see the next season coming out. I had this book. Watch out for house fires, everybody. It's a really good, yeah, I just find it such a good, it's a fun series. So go check it out. Let me know what you think. If you're a huge Foundation fan from the old days, read the books, really read them multiple times, really into it, what do you think of the series? If you're like me, read them twice, and you've been a while, and you're like, okay, I can see the bad, but I can get the good, I can get by it. Do you agree with my rating at 6.5 to 7? Now, for those of you who do not know anything about the books, what do you think of the series if you've seen it? Do you think that, I say that for somebody who doesn't know anything about the books, anything about the series, it'll be a 7, solid 7, maybe 7.5. So let me know if those add up for you guys. Sorry, I've got an ad on my other screen that popped up. That is uncool. Okay. All right, so we are going to move on to a little bit of chit-chatting about Babylon 5. Oh, just such a beautiful show. Now, this I did not know. This I did not know, folks. Remember the TV series Babylon 5? Seasons 1 through 3 utilize inexpensive Commodore Amiga 2000 computers for 3D modeling, rendering, scene manipulation, and alien character creation animation. Holy shoot. That is crazy. That is crazy. Anybody old enough to remember Commodore computers? My God, that's crazy. This show is from the 90s. It's one of the first mainstream TV shows that lean heavy on computer graphics for all of its space shots and action scenes. And yes, it's dated. If you go watch it, it's dated. I wish somebody would take Babylon 5 and do a Star Trek, the original series level update on the graphics. I mean, my God, that would make it so gorgeous. I don't mind seeing the old graphics, but like the next TOS did, original series. If they did Star Trek where you could watch the old graphics of the new, oh, beautiful. I'd love it. I would love it. But Babylon 5 to me is one of the top sci-fi shows ever. The story was written. He called it, J. Michael Straczynski called it his Bible. By the way, wrote a lot of the Ghostbusters cartoon. His Bible. He wrote the whole 5-year story before any filming. He did not like to let any character ad-lib at all because it would mess up his story. Because he had a way where season 1 would connect to 3 and 3 to 2 and 3 to 5. And the story was great and so meshed together. And everybody they picked in that was just perfect for the job. I mean, you're going to love Londo Mollari and Jakar. Oh, amazing characters. You would love, if you've never seen the show, go check out Babylon 5. It is amazing. It is streaming, I believe, on the Roku channel. I believe Prime has it now. You can get it on Blu-ray. You can get it. I always wish they do some major upgrades on some of it. But it is an amazing 5-year show. You will, the graphics can, yes, in 2025 will make you, but it's still entertaining, and some of the ships are still imposing looking. Still beautiful and amazingly good. And for what they did with a Commodore Amiga and stuff, and the computers they used after that for the battles in season 4 and 5, wow. Still has some of the best space battle scenes. It even beats a lot of the newer shows. Let alone the characters, the world they built, the acting. Oh, we don't get that these days. But Babylon 5 is amazing. Babylon 5 over at Inverse. Babylon 5, most underrated filler episodes, more important than you think. But yeah, I'm more about Babylon 5 was a heavily serialized sci-fi series that was groundbreaking in the 90s, but what often gets forgotten is that, like other TV shows of the era, each season necessitated at least 20 episodes. Yes, 20 episodes a season, which today we get what? 6, 8, 10, sometimes 12 episodes. They were trying to do these level of graphics back then. And I'm going to blow this up for you. It's going to look pretty bad. Sorry, guys. It is going to look kind of bad because, one, I'm blowing up a screen that I shouldn't, but take this and double the quality, and that's about where we're at. But it is gorgeous. That is Jakar. Oh, they did such a good job with this. I recommend watching it. You will like it. I mean, that is, right there is Babylon 5. And you can tell it's computer generated back then. But imagine they were doing 20 episodes of this and still keeping up doing graphics that back then this was amazingly groundbreaking. I remember just my jaw dropping. I knew people are more into this than I was at the time going, wow, how are they doing it? So yeah, check out Babylon 5 if you haven't. If you have, give it another rewatch. Hell, I try to watch it, go back and rewatch it again every couple of years or every year or so. It's just such a good show. But they were doing 20 episodes at that level that was peak of peak back then. But now we get 6, 8, 10, 12 episodes. Ugh. Because of instead waiting to reveal various plot turns in 1 or 2 big episodes, Babylon 5 silently planted massive pivots in several fairly innocuous episodes. Exactly 30 years later, during the week of March 1st, 1995, Babylon 5 dropped an underrated, nearly forgotten episode that was nonetheless quietly changed the entire direction of the series. That is how Straczynski worked. Because he wrote everything ahead of time, he could put little things in that steered the show, that made he already had it planned. And you wouldn't think it was a big deal. But then once you looked back after watching, you go, well, shit, that right there, that one thing. And sometimes you will go back and watch those episodes when you realize it and go, wow, wow. I know my camera's slightly in the way. I'll move me again here, guys. Hang on. I will shrink me a little bit. But no, just such an amazing show. Let's see here. Babylon 5 Season 2, Hunter Prey. I wasn't going into just one episode, but yes, this is a good point. Hunter Prey probably doesn't make it in anybody's top 10 list for the entire series. If you ask hardcore B5 head to name their favorite episodes, you'll likely get some Season 3 bangers, War Without End, Zahadum, or even the Season 4 almost finale, The Deconstruction of Falling Stars. In the pivotal Season 2, many would cite the chilling episodes Comes the Inquisitor, which is really creepy. Dude, go look at Comes the Inquisitor. That guy played an amazing character, and the hook at the end of who he is. Oh. Or the rig reveal in the Fall of Night. But Hunter Prey probably wouldn't even be in the top 10 list for Season 2. And they're right. It should be. At first, this episode seems like a standalone filler story. A rogue doctor is on the run and looking for a way to get away from Earth Force. That is pretty standard Babylon 5 plot. Fugitive looks to hide away on B5, but the crew of the station eventually starts to think the fugitive is a good guy. People look for the fugitive are bad guys. Early in Hunter Prey, Garibaldi. Jerry Doyle, man. He became a political commentator after he stopped acting, and I loved his show. The Jerry Doyle Show, if you can find copies on YouTube and stuff, was great. So yeah, he affected me a lot politically. Even jokes to Dr. Franklin that Richard Biggs, this exact same kind of thing has happened before. Yeah, they were not above noticing their own their own selves or what the story was doing in there. So in a sense, what J. Michael Straczynski did with this and many B5 episodes, he used the formulaic nature of TV to his advantage. You might think you know what kind of story it is, but really the story isn't in the foreground, and you should have been paying attention to. It's what's happening in the side or the background that matters. Yes. So yeah, he really did inject a lot of stuff here. I want to read it all to you. I want you to watch it. I want to give it all away. But I'd recommend start off, just watch Babylon 5. Really. It is still one of the most beautiful shows because, yes, the graphics fail. Where Foundation can just, totally, the Foundation is much more beautiful in graphics. It just is. I mean, it is gorgeous. But where Babylon 5 wins is the acting. The acting, the characters, and the story, the world building is just better. It'd be almost if you could take the people who did the graphics for Foundation series and have them do a re-up on the graphics for Babylon 5, I think this show would become something huge again. Problem is, I don't think they could remake this show ever right now because of the DEI, modern audiences, crap they'd have to inject. The race and gender swapping, it would have to happen. Things they just wouldn't let go anymore. Even though this show had characters of all races, genders, all of it. It did such a good job. And I can't talk about it enough. So yeah, if you have never seen Babylon 5, please go watch it. I think you will enjoy the living heck out of it. Okay, I'm about done here, but Last of Us Season 2, nowhere near as good as Season 1. Saw it coming, so did everybody else. Foundation, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Really, go look at it, Apple Plus. Also check out For All Mankind. Let me know what you think, especially about Foundation. Also, if you do comment, let me know if you are a huge Foundation fan. Read the books multiple times, knew a lot about it. If you look at my normie, but tell me what you think of the series between a 1 and 10. If you are a person like me, what you would some consider a fan light, who've read it once or twice, liked it a lot as a book, let me know if you agree with it. For me, I think it's a 6.5 or 7 at that level. And for those of you that know nothing about Foundation, if you watch this, do you agree with that? I think for those people would see it as a 7 or 7.5. And let me know what lets it down for you. What characters are your biggest letdown? For me, it is the Salvor Hardin, and I'm not going to lie, it is partially because of the race and gender swap. It changes the story, changes the dynamics, changes him and his wife later on and stuff. It changes things hugely. And that is a problem because that ripples, just like this talks about, is going through time using math and things to watch time and try to change time over eons so something horrible doesn't become even worse, to try to affect history. Well, that's what they did here, because that one ripple thrown in the pond where you changed a character in almost every way ripples out through the rest of the series. And it will pull you out if you know anything about the books in the series that way. It will pull you out of the story a little bit once in a while. You're going to roll your eyes, go, oh, really? Come on. Well, let me know how you feel about that. And Babylon 5, if you haven't watched Babylon 5, please go watch it. If you have watched it, what do you think? I rate this as one of the top, probably 2 or 3 sci-fi shows ever. Graphics be damned, story can overcome. Just like I say in Foundation, story be damned, sometimes graphics can overcome. Now, graphics don't overcome, they help the problems. In this one, the graphics, Babylon 5, the graphics are more of the problem because of the age, but the story, just far and above, slaughters it. It's a saying, YouTube. So yeah, go check it out, see what you think. A lot of good characters. They flesh out a lot of the characters. They take time with them. You learn about each character throughout the 5 years. And there are not little tiny characters. They won't introduce one character normally, a real character. Try to shoehorn a guy in real quick in one show and then boofing me off at the end. We go, I saw that coming. If you're going to lose somebody, a lot of times in Babylon 5, it is a character they put in there, took the time to get you to like them, to know them. You learn about them, see what they do. They go through battles, they go through highs and lows, and then poof. Take time. Not just interject somebody where you're going, Star Trek red shirt, they're gone at the end of this. That's a huge difference that we don't get on TV today. TV today, you interject a character and you go right away, I know what you're going to do to them. Yeah, him and her are going to despair. They're going to despair. They are going to get ended. In Babylon 5, they took the time, Straczynski did, to get to know these characters. You got to know people, and sometimes people were just gone, disappeared. Yeah. Even some alien characters who were there for a season or two or more. So yeah, it is a well worth your watch, guys. All right, this is me getting out of here. I was planning on doing a little shorter stream than this, but you know how it is sometimes. You get going. I'm only an hour in. But yeah, so that's not bad. That's a good length of a stream for my pop culture stuff. I am going to try to do more pop culture. Yes, I do a lot of politics. I'm going to do my pop culture stuff under Lyon's Den. And the political stuff will stay under my moniker Lioncast. They're both on the same channel, but you know, that's what it is. I can do both there. Like I said, I'm not looking to be some big YouTuber or anything, or a Rumbler. But if it happens, cool. But I'd like to get out and talk to people and throw out some opinions. All right, everyone. I am going to hippity hop out of here. I'm going to go do some work around the house and take my dogs out and get some dinner for the wife who is working a little extra today. But please like and subscribe and let me know, out of the series I discussed today, which one is your favorite? I know these are very disparate series, folks. Last of Us Season 2. I'm saying Season 2. Foundation series 1 and 2. You know, it's Foundation. Or Babylon 5. Let me know which ones you've seen and which ones you haven't. Which one's your favorite, everyone? All right, and feel free to email me on at lyonsdenws6.com, or at gmail.com, and or look me up on X at lyonsdenws6 if you want any TV shows or movies or even political stuff you want me to cover, or any suggestions or some answers or some comments. All right, like, subscribe. Look for me here and on Rumble, and I'm going to try to extend my software to get me onto X for streaming also. We'll see if I can handle all three by myself being the Lone Ranger here. A Lone Ranger who's only slightly intelligent. So. All right, guys. Thanks for stopping in. Thank you very much. I will talk to you later. And tonight I will probably, if things go right, we'll be doing a political stream about, let's see, we got Dog Obedience tonight. So we'll be back, let's say around 9 or 10, be doing a political stream. All right? On that, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for stopping by. And have a good rest of your Tuesday. Unless I'm going to see you later for the politics chat. All right.